Are we recording?
Yep.
Amazing.
Cool. What's going on, guys? Today I am back with a very special video. This is your boy Tom Talks Rubbish. I am very happy to have one of my really good friends and the leader of my care company, Charmaine, on the channel for an interview today. So really thank you for joining me for this one.
You're welcome.
Because I'll be honest, I was like, she won't do this. Like, she's too cool for anything like this.
I wouldn't go that far, Tom.
But yeah, but you were the interview that I was, because as people on the channel will know, you were the one that said to me, you can do this. So I was most looking forward to sitting down with you, because I feel like with the way 2020 was, you were the one that had the most interesting story out of the people that I know.
Okay.
I feel like that is the way that I will phrase it. Do you know what I mean? But we'll get into that in a minute. So let's start off with, obviously your company is Care Direct, an amazing care company, etc. But I'll start off with, what was the inspiration for Care Direct? Like, where did it come from?
Oh, okay. So when, I mean, million years ago, in my 20s.
2013, was it?
Yeah, it feels like it.
It was 2013,
I
wasn't it?
was in my 20s when I first started being in the care industry.
Yeah, yeah.
And being a young sort of 20-year-old, I didn't know what to expect, and I got put in a situation where most 20-year-olds would run to the hills in the industry that we're in.
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
And it was quite a scary moment, but it was like a little bulb that went off inside my head, and I was like, oh my God, I really do love this job. And then from there, it was more about seeing people having their everyday challenges like yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And seeing how your inspiration to me in how you deal with your challenges every day, and how you get up and push on and try to make a better life. So that was my inspiration, was it wanted me to be a better person. And how I thought I could do that was by sort of supporting as many people as I can for that better life.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. So this might seem a bit like a random question, but were you a person at school then that didn't know what they wanted to do, and then when you found care?
Well, no. When I was at school, I wanted to be a hairdresser.
Oh, really?
And yeah, hence why you can see I'm not.
Fair dues. But yeah. So, but was it one of those where you were like, I'll just do this job for a little while, but then fell in love with it?
It
sort
literally
of thing?
filled the gap. Yeah,
Oh.
I was young. I was looking for a job. I needed a job, and it was literally fill the gap. And to be honest, I've never looked back.
Fair enough. So, obviously, part of your job as well is, because you're not only a carer now, you're also management to care. If I'm using the wrong terminology, please correct me.
Yeah, I introduced PAs.
Yeah,
to
right,
customers.
yeah. So, when looking for a PA, what is it that you look for? Like, because the thing that I love about our company, I say our company,
No,
like
yeah,
ironic,
go
but
on.
the people that work for me and that work alongside you,
introduce,
that
yeah.
you introduce, is we're all very similar, but we're all different in other ways. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but what is it you actually look for?
Do you know what, Tom? It's a real long process when you're looking for someone. Obviously, you have the vetting checks, which is your DBS and your references, and your CVs, you know, and your insurances. Obviously, you know, the normal formality of paperwork that I call, you know, what I have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, more than anything, I then take the time to get to know the customer and the potential PA.
Because we're going to get onto that in a minute. I had a question about that as well, as you know.
Okay.
Like, so is it more about... Because have you ever met... I'll phrase it this way. Have you ever met someone that you thought won't be very good for the company, but then actually seen them in action and thought, I was wrong about you? Is that a tricky question to answer?
Oh, yeah, no, that's a. I would say. I'm a true believer that I try not to go on my first judgment of character.
And I 100%.
The paperwork and the important stuff has to be done without a doubt.
100%.
But then when you move on to the characteristics of a person and the personalities, to get to know that personal assistant, I like to know their ambitions, what drives them, and what they're actually here for. I get very lucky that some people feel quite open and honest to me, so I know, you know, we're singing from the same song sheet, as you know.
But then, do you have other people that it takes a while for them to open up? Like,
yeah, obviously there's a couple of incidents with personal assistants where maybe they've looked at the position and not understand the full position because maybe they're doing it for the first time.
I get you. We've had that a
So,
lot.
and then that takes time for them to grow as a person and to grow into sort of the the position. But again, that's done by the guidance of the customer, of you know, because obviously it's so important that I get that communication from the customer too, in what they want out of their own personal assistant.
I get you. So, following on from that, when looking at putting, like, me with a PA or another, I don't want to say names in case people don't want their names out there, but another client, what is it that you think these two people would work really well together?
Again, it's, you know, getting to know, and you're going to laugh, but it's that word, communication. I say it all the time.
I will say this, like, Shah's biggest, because we've been working together 5 years this year. It's around that, isn't it? And the first thing Shah ever told me when I first met her, when we went for lunch with my PA at the time, was communication. And you say that to me to this day, and I 100% agree with that. So, like, when you're looking for someone, do you look for someone that is, I'll put it this way, like, does the person have to be out, like, bubbly all the time, or would you hire a quiet person?
No, I think it's quite important to have a variety. Everybody brings something different to the table. We're quite lucky, Tom, because we're not a massive, we haven't got many people, so reality is all the PAs that sort of is introduced to you, when I sort of step back and let that just take its place, you're quite comfortable with having a few people.
I say this to my mum all the time, but you, for example, today, you're covering my shift today, right? You could call me and say, so-and-so's called in sick, can you have someone else? There's no one in the company that you could say to me, can you have them? And I'd be like, really? I feel like we're very lucky in that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when the PAs tell you and say, I'm going on holiday or I'm sick or something, because you've got that network of, we're a community.
Yeah.
And we're a team, you know, you've got a community of PAs, so even if someone does phone in sick and lets you know, you have the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, and also I do feel very lucky as one of the, because I'm one of the oldies, aren't I? In the company. I feel like I've seen the company mature, and like, because when we first started together, there was 4 clients and 4 PAs.
I'd say, yeah.
About maybe 3, maybe 3.
You were the.
No, I was the
you
fourth.
were the fourth.
Because
3.
it was.
No, yeah.
I'm not gonna. I keep wanting to say names, guys. I'm really sorry, but it was me and 3 other people, and yeah. But other than that, really enjoyed it. But we're gonna get into more because let's be honest, 2020, not a great year.
No.
But as a business owner, what would you say was the biggest challenge for 2020? And then we'll get into the second question I'll let you think about as well, was what was the biggest challenge as a carer, do you think, for 2020?
The biggest challenge, more than anything, I would say the information that was filtered down by the government.
Yeah.
Because being in a pandemic, no one knew what right from wrong was. So you always had that sort of niggly thing in the back of your head.
Are you doing the right thing for
Are you doing the right thing? And then with that, it was, as you know, Tom, I'm a worrier. I do worry about everyone.
I have no comment at this time.
So it was more than anything, I was just so sort of wanting you guys to stay safe
and still
and keep you guys safe.
Morale up and stuff like that as well.
So that was sort of, you know, the biggest challenge is following the guidance from the government that was always filtered in a it was filtered down,
but it was
maybe
very
could have
slow as well.
Yeah, it could have been sort of, you know, a more clear sometimes. But yeah, worrying about you guys, making sure you were safe and kept protected.
Because I know personally, like there was a few days where when we first started having PAs in the house again, when COVID started to clear up, where I was like, with everything being closed, what am I going to do with myself? Do you know what I mean? Because I had all my activities that I'd normally... Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was quite nerve-wracking because you got in this bubble, didn't you? And even though you kept the good communication with your PAs, you know, deciding for you to make that decision to say, do you know what, okay, I'm ready for my PAs to come in the house, must have been quite challenging.
That was
and nervous for you.
But I will commend your company. You've got a very good testing process, a very good, like... We should have mentioned this before we started. We're following government guidelines. We're 2 meters apart, and it's just the whole reason Char's not wearing a mask is probably more so you could hear her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting quite behind. They won't see it on the TV screen, but I'm sitting quite far behind you. So
yeah, but also, your company's very good at wearing masks. Very good at reminding us to wear masks. I'm trying to think of some other things. Like you're very good at hand sanitizing and reminding us to hand sanitize.
And regular testing.
Like everything is regular. So like I feel like we've had. I say we all the time.
That's good.
I'm really sorry, but
well, they are. They're your PAs.
Like I feel like we're very good at realizing. You know what? I don't feel like this has been the cool thing because with the culture you've built, your PAs. None of them really call in sick unless they're really ill, I've found. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's a good ethos that they have of work.
But I think one thing that I will commend them on is not also with the pandemic coming in for the sake of coming in. Like if they feel... Does that make sense? But anyway, what would you like to keep from like COVID? Has it taught you anything about being a carer that you would like when COVID finally does, I don't want to swear, but you know what I'm trying to say, go away?
What would I like to keep? Well, not the anxiety and worry that it brings.
No, none of us want that.
I think, to be honest, what's more important for me is obviously through the grapevine, the parents, because again, we're very small, everybody knows everyone. And we have our own community. So the parents wanted to set up their own support group through COVID. And I think that's definitely been a lifeline.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that because I know there was talk about when COVID finally goes away, getting rid of that. I think getting rid of that would be a mistake now, purely because I think it shows parents, look, this is what we actually do with your child. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, it's... you know, when COVID hit again, the unknown was quite scary.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you.
You know, the parents having that additional support network and knowing that they wasn't on their own.
No.
So they had, you know, even silly little things like if a message went out to a PA to say, can you pick up a pint of milk on your way because they couldn't get out.
I know personally that, especially during what I would call... Because right at the start of the pandemic, we weren't having clients come in the house. No, stupid brain.
We were doing door-to-door.
We were doing door-to-door or
activities,
FaceTime visits.
That's it, yeah.
So, FaceTime, you know what I'm trying to say. But I know for me, and I've mentioned this in videos before, having that structure of still, right, my PA's going to text me, or we're going to do a FaceTime on the Wednesday, was something that kept my mental health. Don't get me wrong, my mental health went down the toilet a few times.
Yeah.
But kept it from going way, way down. And, like, I think care directors handle it really well.
That's good, Tom, because it's good to know as well, because as I say, you know, I think the support network is crucial at a time that we had. And to boost everyone and keep everyone's morale up, you know, sometimes it has quiet days and sometimes it has really busy days.
It's weird. The group chat's really weird. Like, on days you wouldn't expect it to go busy, like the weekend, for example, when you should all be relaxing and not thinking about us, someone will put a message in the group chat, hey guys, should we do this one day? It's like, do you guys ever switch off?
Yeah, no, you've got good PAs.
I am a very lucky... I say this all the time, but and this is going to give Charlotte a bit of a big head. I don't think I'd be where I am today without my PAs, in all honesty.
Well, that's good. That's
in all
good.
honesty.
But that's all credit to them as well.
That's credit to the people that I work with, like, but it's also a credit to yourself, because the company, without you, the company wouldn't be a thing. So it's definitely a thank you.
Thank you. That's lovely to hear.
I've got a couple of harder questions now, and if you've seen these questions,
Yeah.
So, but if you don't feel comfortable asking them, answering them, stupid brain.
It's all right.
Don't feel pressured. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, okay, obviously you've been a business owner for about 8 years now.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment where you're like, oh, I can't do this, I'm just going to go and get a regular care job or a regular job?
Oh, honestly, if I'm going to be honest with you, I'd actually say no.
Genuinely?
I've had moments where my head are in my hands, and probably
You're pulling your own hair out, sort of thing.
You know, I'm losing hair as we speak.
Yeah, but where like days of, but you've never had like the way I'll phrase it is, you've never typed up a letter to all parents and then deleted it, being like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Never, because reality is, Tom, is, you know, I don't lose focus in why, you know, it's you guys that are my inspiration. I started it to support you guys, so I'm not then gonna, you know, if it gets tough, I'm not gonna just hold my hands up and not do it.
Again, we've gushed about the support network through this interview a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
But I think that is credit to you again, the support network you've set up. Like, if you're having a bad day, you can just text one of the other PAs privately and be like, I'm having a bad day, could you sort of help pick me up, sort of deal?
Yeah, motivation.
We're all very good at giving each other motivation. I will say, would you agree with that?
Yeah, motivation is massive in this industry, because everyone is like yourself, you know, when you're having a bad day, and then, you know, can you have that honest connection with your personal assistants to say how you feel?
Because I did have one question that I wrote down but then got rid of.
Okay.
But I am very curious to know, like, do you believe that if you don't enjoy this job, you can't do it? Because I 100% believe that.
Yeah, you've got to have a true passion for it, and it shines through the person
It
of
does.
how they truly are in the job. If you're just
Collecting a
you've
paycheck
you've got to want to make a difference. You've got to want to be the best that you can, and you know, I think sometimes a personal assistant or a carer or a healthcare worker, and you know, all of us in the industry, we get very downgraded in sometimes of how the job is.
Yeah.
It's very sort of, oh, you just push someone around,
or you just get to
know.
go to concerts for the day or something.
But reality is no, this job is mentally and physically challenging. Emotionally as well challenging, because you know, we do form a connection.
Well, not just that, but also, like, I admit I have said some horrible things to my PAs over the years, just out of anger, or not necessarily at them, but just out of anger at a certain situation. And like, I will 100% admit, I look back now and I think, did you do that for you? I don't.
Well, that's good. That's good that you're obviously obsessed. You know, you're assessing your.
I thought you were going to say obsessed then.
No, you're assessing your behaviour, but you know, and that's very good of you to be so honest in an interview what we're doing. So, but I'm sure you find a way with your PAs to have that connection to get over that situation.
Oh yeah, and like, I fully believe I couldn't work with my PA if I didn't get on with them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you agree with that.
Well, yes. The one thing that we have is when you introduce a personal assistant to a customer, the one thing that's so important to me is the, you know,
connection.
Not only your happiness and
like
connection,
my mum's, for example.
The family, it's also the personal assistants, because if they're happy in their job, they're going to be working so much better and working to their full potential. So
I agree with that.
You know, everything sort of, it's not just black and white or one or two things. It's a whole combination of things that makes it work.
Yeah, I don't know if you agree with this, but I don't think you can fit, like, you can't, and if I'm using the wrong word, correct me, you can't treat every personal assistant the same as you can't treat every client the same.
Every individual is different.
Every individual's different. So like, what works with me with a client, I keep saying client. No,
Alright.
with a PA would not work with someone else, or what works for me with one PA doesn't work with another.
That's right.
So I feel like individuality is a big thing in this job.
Definitely.
I say this job like I do it, but you know what I mean. Okay, on to lighter questions. I've got 2 more, and then I want to be respectful of your time. So
Yeah, no, that's fine.
what future plans? Where would you like to see Care Direct in like a year? Hopefully when COVID's gone away. Would you like to see more people employed in the company, more service users achieving like jobs, etc.? That was a lot of information, I do apologise.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Well, we have a couple of things at the moment in regards to sort of after COVID.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of things in the pipeline that I've been speaking to others about. So we are right on the starting block though. Nothing's promised or nothing, so I can't sort of disclose anything at the moment.
No, I didn't expect disclosure. I don't even know if that's a word, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't expect you to disclose anything, but the main thing that I think we all think is Shah actually happy? Like, or is she just stressing all the time, and does she enjoy her job?
No, of course I do. I love my job.
I know
Otherwise
you.
I wouldn't be here.
I know you would. I know that now, but you do think like, God, she's in that office so many hours a day. Does she? I'm trying to think how to phrase this. Does she still get enjoyment out of it?
Yes, I do.
That was going to be my bit.
My most enjoyment is watching you guys and watching everyone progress and develop.
I say this to you all the time, and this isn't me trying to be big-headed and like thing, but I get the most enjoyment out of seeing pictures on the group chat of like someone getting a job or someone having an amount of weight loss. Like, it's not about me. And I know I'm a client, but I'm a person, and I know you're very similar. Like, you love seeing other people progress.
Well, it gives you inspiration.
Well, not just that. It's like, good for them, sort of thing.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my final question, and again, I want to say thank you very much for doing this. But also, I don't know if I covered this in the beginning. Charmaine was the inspiration for my channel. But do you remember how that happened? Because I don't. Do you remember the conversation at all?
It was mainly, we were talking about, I wanted to advise you in something that you could put your thoughts and feelings through, but also more than anything, you had a passion, and at that point in time, it was wrestling. Still is. Like, I'm wearing a wrestling t-shirt right now. I looked in my... no joke, guys. I'm probably going to do a video one day where I show all my wrestling t-shirts off, because I've got so many in my cupboard that the amount of times my PA will come in and like to do my personal care or something and be like, wrestling t-shirt again, Tom? And when we go on nights out, the amount of times someone has said to me, wait, Tom, you're not wearing a wrestling t-shirt, are you alright? Well, but also, in talking about my passion, like, this video ain't about me, so I ain't going to ramble on for a while. No, okay.
But I don't just want to, like, a lot of channels just focus on one particular subject. I couldn't think of a word. Like, it's been a long morning. But I'm so passionate about so many other things that I don't want to be like, that was the name of the channel. Like, I didn't want to call it Tom Talks Rubbish Wrestling, because people would be expecting wrestling.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think the thing is just to have a broad sort of, of subjects is really good for you, Tom. But I mean, we are so proud of how you've achieved and what you've achieved so far.
It's grown so much, and obviously that's thank you to everyone that watches.
Exactly.
And thank you to you for the inspiration. But my final question, what's your best memories with Care Direct? Obviously you can't mention names, but...
Yeah, I can't single anyone out or any times, but reality is the memories that you guys develop with your personal assistants is quite a lot.
I have so many, and I'm sure one day we'll do a longer form video on that. But obviously, without being too specific. Respites, you know how much I love going on holiday. Like our annual Butlins trips are probably the highlight of my year.
Yeah.
Or even like even smaller holidays, like just renting a caravan and being able to decompress has always been fun. But also like getting a job, like that has always been fun.
Yeah, I'd say that that's sort of my memories are more sort of meeting the customers for the first time.
Do you remember the first time you met me? Do you want to? Should we tell that story?
If you want to.
You can if you want. Like.
It was just nice to sort of get to know. I feel sometimes very honoured that, you know, when someone approaches me, a potential customer approaches me, and you put the trust in me to say, okay, I want to better my life. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And you find the right personal assistant that's going to help me achieve that.
And don't get me wrong, I am so happy. You know that.
That's good, Tom.
I've
That's really good.
been in such a good place, and the amount of people that were like 2020 this, 2020 that, I was like 2020 weren't all that bad for me.
We've survived.
My YouTube channel's growing lovely.
Yeah.
I've still got great contact with my personal assistants. Oh, connection is not the word.
Yeah.
I'm still
heavily involved.
I'm still
with you.
employed. I'm not working at the minute because of COVID, but
No.
I'm still creative, and so I ain't got anything to complain about.
Well, that's like my biggest memories are what you've just said. You know, a customer telling me how happy they are. You know, finding out that you've got yourself a job and that you're progressing in life. Trying stuff for the first time. You know, making them. But choosing to do that little, you know, challenge yourself in a better and positive and safe way.
And also, before we go, I'll just say this one final thing. If I'm sure the people that have watched have seen in my room, we're recording outside, guys. We should have said that, really.
I think they know.
They know that, but like I have so many pictures in my room now, and I take pictures all the time because of you, because I want to hold on to them memories because I'm so happy. And that is all down to you, and all I can say is thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tom. That's lovely. But it's not down to me, it's down to your personal assistant.
But I'm giving you a compliment here, take it. Anyway, guys, on that note, we want to say thank you very much, don't we, for watching.
Yes, we do.
And
thanks for the support for Tom.
Definitely thank you, guys. And if you like this video, please subscribe. Hopefully, I'll have a conversation with you about this later. But hopefully more interviews to come later this year. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.